All right, so Slock Yakim, you know, had an incoming call, but it's the book of Psalm 64:8 says, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves; all that see them shall flee away." You see, so what has happened is, their own tongues are falling upon themselves. Things that they thought would never be exposed, things they thought that would never, be revealed or come out. Rather, let's say if it could be someone that was a part of them, or someone that was just amongst them. See, or something they even said that has been recorded or documented. See, now it's being brought up to their face, like, look, you said this, you said you were going to do that, this was your plan, so forth and so on. So what? So they're making their own tongue fall upon themselves. Okay, because now we're using, what they have said against them, their own words. What's better? There's nothing better than using, what someone else says against them. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into this article. It says, the Illuminati plan to enslave Americans 1969. So the U.S. will de-industrialize and gays given permission to act out. Women will be masculine. Music would get much worse. Much of what Dr. Day promised in 1969 has come to pass, but many more ominous measures designed to establish a police state have yet to transpire. And all this is facts. Okay, all this is facts. You look around today, you see the agenda, right? The whole entertainment business. You see the agenda that is pushing for the effeminization of the men out here, man, and mainly you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men. Okay, this is definitely heavily pushed harder in your communities. Okay, when you look on TV, it's all over the TV. It's in every movie. Every movie now you see that's coming out has, a homosexual or a lesbian in it, or a transgender, something to that effect. Every single one, whether they're adults or whether they're children. You have the cartoons pushing that forth, right? You have the books, so everything is pushing, that homosexual and lesbianism and transgender agenda. Okay, women will be masculinized. You see that, man. You got women, that's lifting 300 pounds. Okay, doing weightlifting and into all the different sports. You see, just being aggressive. You see, just everything that pertains to a man. You see this now is on the woman's spirit. Right, music will get much worse. Just music is garbage. All they do is talk about adultery and selling drugs and killing one another. Just complete madness. You see? Everything what he is saying, but this is all pushed by what? The Illuminati. So much of what Dr. Day promised in 1969 has come to pass, but many more ominous measures designed to establish police state have yet to transpire. Yep. You see, and men don't want to be men no more, and women don't want to be women no more. It's just all nothing but confusion. Hence, this is the reason why this place is called Babylon. In fact, let's get the scripture real quick. This is the book of Isaiah 29, verse 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down should be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the things framed of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Okay. So yeah, man, everything you see is upside down. Let's get this Isaiah 5 and 20, right? Just want to have it on deck. So it says, when are we going to wake up and realize that the elite is out to destroy us, right? The Edomites. This is by Henry Makow, PhD. It says, on March 20, 1969, Dr. Richard Day, the National Medical Director of the Rockefeller sponsor Planned Parenthood, told a meeting of the Pittsburgh Pediatric Society that a new world system would permanently transform the world. Dr. Day, who died in 1989, wanted to prepare the 80 or so physicians present. Although the doctors were warned not to make records or take notes, Day's remarks were reported by Dr. Lawrence Dungeon, who died in January 2004. The fact that only one doctor came forward suggests that professional associations may be Masonic in nature. Some of you will think I'm talking about communism. Dr. Day told the assembly, well, that I'm talking about is much bigger than communism. He indicated that there is much more cooperation between East and West than most people realize. He was free to speak at this time because everything is in place and nobody can stop us now, right? And that's how they feel. It says when a new system takes over, people will be expected to sign allegiance to it, and indicating that they don't have any reservations to the old system. And what you see now is this is the FEMA camps. Okay, the FEMA camps that we be talking about, where is, these detention centers where, they want to take you, okay, to either, kill you, torture you, or transform you, to follow their new world order. It says there just won't be any room for people who won't go along. See? We can't have such people cluttering up the place so much people will be taken to special places and disposed of humanely. They would not create martyrs. People will just disappear. The transcripts of Dugin's recollections has been posted here and should be read in full. However, I'll provide a summary here. Orwellian police state. Okay, and they want people they can just, they want people that's just people of a destitute mind that don't think for themselves, where they could just easily get on track. But the people that's rebellious, they will label them as enemies to the state. All right, so it says Orwellian police state. They don't want to. They do want to implant a chip in us so they can find and identify us, as well as monitor and control our purchases. They are weaning us off national allegiance and will resort to terrorism to win out our assent to their global police state. They may use 1 or 2 nuclear bombs to convince people we mean business. They said, right, and that's how Edom works. You know what I'm saying? They go by their blessing, man. What they was blessed with the sword. You see, and that's how they get people to bow down to them, man. With the sword. But let's take a step back and go into that chip, because we always talk about that chip, okay? Which that's the mark of the beast. It's the book of Revelation 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all both, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You see, who's this he? This he is Esau Edom. And it's the elites that's pushing this. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. See, so, no matter what status you have in society, right, they are going to make you get the chip. Okay, they're going to make you get the RFID chip. They're going to make you get the mark of the beast. Okay, that's one of their plans, and as you can see, and even another guy that was almost an insider to the elites is Aaron Russo. Okay, Aaron Russo. He always is talking about the chip. All right, see? So I'll read it again. It says they do want to implant a chip in us so they can find and identify us, right? Because there's also what is it called? Basically like a tracker inside of it as well as monitor and control our purchases. Meaning with the chip, right, you're going to be able to buy and sell with the chip. You see? Scroll you down. It says, right, and this is this old devil David Rockefeller. It says he refrained from mentioning who we are, but said the names are recognizable given that he worked for the Rockefellers. I assume he meant the Rockefellers and their bosses, the Rothschilds. Correct. This adds weight to the widely held view that central bankers are responsible for the most terrorism using MI6, Mossad, and the CIA. Dr. Day also said that war is obsolete given the danger of the nuclear exchange, so terrorism would be used instead. This was 1969. Dr. Day said sex will be separated from marriage and reproduction, i.e. sexual liberation, to break up the family and reduce population, right? And they really wanted to do all that to, break up the Israelite families, okay? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American families, okay? Because they know, we are basically a multiplying race. And if you look up the info now, there is no, look, the Israelites, we are the majority. You know what? Let's get this, matter of fact, let's get the scripture. We are the sand of the sea. Okay, yep. Hosea 1 verse 10, it says, Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. You see that? So the Israelites, we are the majority. We are not the minority, as their as their polls or graphs or charts say. We are the majority. So it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are sons of the living power. And what place were we told that we weren't the children of God? We wasn't the chosen people. We weren't the Israelites. America, Babylon are great, because throughout all these other places, right, we knew we were the Israelites, right? Our people knew they were the Jews, man. They knew they were the holy people. But not here in America, we didn't. Okay? Not here in America until at least about what? The early 70s, so to speak. The Lord started putting a spirit on his men, to wake up and to teach the people. Okay? So let's go back to this lesson, right? So it says, Dr. Day said sex will be separated from marriage and reproduction, sexual liberation to break up the family and to reduce population. And they also did that, as far as the separating women from men, they try to make women on their own to, that was to create confusion, right? There's a few other things you could add to it. They did that to create confusion. They did that to make more money so they could tax the woman, and they did it so they can easily manipulate the woman to keep her with a destroyed mindset, to keep her children with a destroyed mindset, and create division amongst the households. Okay, and when you deal with repopulation or reproduction, it's in fact stated that Edomites, right? They're not reproducing as much as they're dying more than they are reproducing. You see, and they know that, so they're trying to force it to whereas they don't want to be the least nation, but there's nothing you can do about it because you are the least nation, man. Okay, and the more Israelites you try to kill off, right, just the more that's gonna come, man. Okay. What they say, the saying in the world, we don't die, we multiply, right? So continuing on, it says abortion, divorce, promiscuity, and homosexuality will be made socially acceptable. Gender neuter, and promiscuous. Fewer people are able to bond permanently with a member of the opposite sex for the purpose of procreation. You see how they set it up? Okay, they have set it up. I'm reading it again. I gotta read it again. It says abortion, divorce, promiscuity, and homosexuality will be made socially acceptable. Gender neuter and promiscuous. Fewer people are able to bond permanently with a member of the opposite sex for the purpose of procreation. You see? And now, when you talk about procreating and bringing forth children and multiply, as the Lord said, people look at it as if it's some strange thing. Multiply. People look at it as if it's some strange thing. But when you're dealing with woman on woman, man to man, people look at it like, oh, man, no, that's cool. This is just madness. Let's see. Let me see. Genesis 1 verse 27 says, so the Most High created man in his own image, in the image of the Most High created he him, male and female created he them. So there's only two genders, man. All right, that's it, period, point blank. During all these different 50 genders, man, that's madness. And the Most High blessed them, and the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. You see? But now that's looked at strangely today. It's looked at strangely when you say, if a woman says, oh, I have 4 children, or I have 6 children. People frown their face up at that. But then when you look at someone, say, I had 3 different sex partners. A male said I had 3 different sex partners and they was all males. That's all good though. That's all good. Or a woman is saying she slept with a different man for each day of the week. That's all good though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. This place is crazy. Continuing on, it says he said that he said that there are always 2 reasons for anything the Illuminati do. The pretext which makes it palatable to the gullible public, and the real reason. Thus, we are being turned into homosexuals in the name of women's and gay rights. Homosexuals will be given permission to act out. Everyone, including the elderly, will be encouraged to have sex, and it will be brought out into the open. Anything goes. That's true. The Stonewall riots, which unleashed the gay rights movement, took place 3 months later. The ultimate goal is to have sex without reproduction. Reproduction without sex will occur in laboratories. Family size will be limited, as in China. And that's part of one of their depopulation agendas too. Okay. It will be made more difficult for families to stay together. More women will work outside the home and more people will remain single. Sports will be promoted to girls so they will become more masculine, right? And seek career instead of family, and they will be taught that they are the same as boys. And that's right, man. When you're dealing with a woman today, what do they say? They say we equal. You see? They say we equal. We on the same playing field. But come on, man. Hey, the scripture says y'all are the weaker vessel. And there's a reason why y'all can't. Let me put that down. And the reason why the Lord made us opposite, right, and made you weaker in different aspects, right, and gave the men strength in a lot of different categories, and gave y'all strength in different categories. And you know what I'm saying? Vice versa. Even though a man is more dominant, but we have our different roles and we have our different strengths and weaknesses as the Lord made us to have. It's the first Peter 3 verse 7 says, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So letting you know that the woman is the weaker vessel. But hey, what it's taught here is that they equal. I mean, that the woman is equal to the man. They walk around, smoking these cigarettes, and and they did that behind. I believe that was after like World War I or World War II, to make them feel like they were more womanly or got that man look. They start wearing pants and overalls and all that crap, to give out that man look. So hey, it's been going on for a while. And it says they will become more masculine and seek career instead of family. They will be taught that they are the same as boys, right? And these women, most of these women, they don't, their mission is not to, raise their children and raise the household. Teach and train their young women to be women. Okay, it's exactly what it says, man. They rather seek careers. You see, and that's why they children be running around all hours throughout the night, and doing all types of madness, because they're too busy seeking work and, not keeping an eye on our children. Let's continue on. It says, in general, international sports like soccer and hockey will be pushed so Americans will see themselves as world citizens. American sports like baseball and football will not be similarly encouraged. Brutalization, pornography, violence, and obscenity on TV and the movies will be increased. People will be desensitized to violence and porn and made to feel life is short. Precarious and brutish music will get worse and will be used for indoctrination. Right? Correct. There will be unemployment and mass migration in order to uproot long-established conservative communities. Social change will be introduced in port cities and work its way to the heartland. Thus, the East and West Coast are liberal. True. He said a cure to cancer exists in the Rockefeller Institute, but is kept secret for purposes of depopulation. He said there will be an increase in infectious man-made diseases. Oh, hell yeah. And we talk about that all the time now, how all these different diseases, they're man-made, and the elites keep, the healing properties, I want to say, or the cures for themselves. They do the tests on different people out there to see how people react to it, and see what they can use to help kill off people. But you know they have the cures to try to make themselves immune to that disease. So yeah, like we said, a lot of this shit is man-made. You know what I'm saying? AIDS and herpes and things like that, right? Says Dr. Day, who worked in a weather modification during the war, said weather can be used to wage war and create drought and famine. The food supply will be monitored so no one can get enough food to support a fugitive from the new system. Growing your own food will be outlawed under the pretext being unsafe, right? So HARP, that's what the HARP look. Just type in HARP and you can see that the elites have the technology where they can control the weather, or the weather control. They have it. So just type in HARP. Okay. Dealing with this growing your food situation, this is also correct because you are outlawed to grow your own farm and have your own cattle and collect rainwater. You're being fined for those things. Okay, because why they're trying to say it's unsafe, but why? Because they don't want you to be dependent. They want you to be dependent on them. They don't want you to have everything for yourself. They want you to go for them for all things. Continuing on, it says each part of the world will have a specialty and thus become interdependent. He said the U.S. will remain a center for agriculture, high-tech communications, and education, but heavily industry will be transported out. America's biggest companies continue to move factories offshore and eliminate thousands of American jobs. He said people are controlled by the means of the information they are given. Often contradictory information works. Discrimination is bad unless it is against whites. Information will be selective. Not everyone will be allowed to own books. Certain books will disappear from libraries, literally classics, and the Bible will be subtly altered, and that's what they have done, man. See, they altered the scriptures when they come out with these different translations like the NIV and things like that, trying to twist up scriptures, throwing in different words, man. People will spend no longer in school but not learn anything. There will be restrictions on travel, and private home ownership will gradually disappear. Homes will become so expensive that people will have to share small apartments with non-family members. Yep, and that's coming too, and it's happening, but it's coming. It's going to be coming on a higher scale. Okay. Let's see. There's so much juice on there. I guess I'll finish it out. Let's see. Dr. Day said in 1969, people will have to get used to constant change. Our society and culture are a fraud based on one central fraud, the monopoly over government credit in the hands of the capitalist private bankers, Edomites. They are using the power to extend their monopoly over every aspect of our lives by manipulating world events and social behavior. The only one way to save civilization from failure is to nationalize the central banks. Nope, the only way to stop this man is if this place is destroyed. That's it. The one thing they didn't anticipate was the internet. They will have a hard time establishing a police state and disappearing people when communications are instant and universal, right? And this is why one of the devils said he hated that the internet was created, because why? The internet is exposing them on all levels. You see, they can't even do nothing without something being popped up on the internet 30 seconds later. Okay, so I'll just read this. This is was our first comment from Dan. I just want to read this real quick. It says, I was 14 in 1969 and many of us already suspected something was wrong. Teenage boys didn't seem quite as masculine or emotionally mature for their age as their World War II generation fathers had been. There used to be a joke in the 60s that went, they must be putting something in the water. Hey, and guess what? They have been putting shit in the water, They got this chemical called atrazine. They have this chemical called atrazine, where it it has been tested roughly that you know, it turns male frogs into female frogs, where now they can produce eggs and things like that. And the study has been backed, and also says that you know, uh, it is well over well is well, you know, to work on humans as well. Okay, and that's just one. You know, you can also go deal with soy products and things like that that has its you know, its effects, you know, on us men, and messing up our testosterone as well. Okay. Yep. See, indeed, I remember when fluoride was introduced into our city water where I lived. There was a lot of parents in the neighborhood that didn't want it. That was around 1960. So these things been going on for quite a while. You know, these different things. You know, so that's the end of that. You know, that article. You know, I know it probably went over more than I wanted to, but hey, you know, I had to get this. Slocky. I had to get this article out there, man, because you know these things that's been spoke about is, you know, relevant. You know, it's relevance, and it's, you know, dealing with today. Okay, so Lord willing, maybe I'll go into this one at another time. You know, for the lack of time, I'll read this and I'll close out. It says, Dr. Richard Day, 1969. It says the technology used for reproduction without sex, families to diminish in importance, euthanasia, and the demise pill. Limiting access to affordable medical care makes eliminating the elderly easier. New difficult to diagnose and untreatable diseases. Suppressing cancer cures as mean as population control. Reconstructing education as a tool of indoctrination. More time in schools, but pupils wouldn't learn anything. Controlling who has the access to information. Schools as the hub of the community. Changing laws to promote moral and social chaos, the encouragement of drug abuse to create a jungle atmosphere in cities and towns. You see this shit? Okay, the things we've been telling you, man. Things we've been telling you. You see? We've been telling you week in and week out, man, day in and day out, with these different letters, modern day epistles on the street corners, telling you that, hey, these are the plans of the elites, man. You see, these are the secret councils that they set up to destroy you, Jay. You see? And they destroy their own people, but mainly who they're targeting is Jake. Okay, let's get this. Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. While the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. You see? So this is what they do, man. They work evil upon their beds, man. You know? Oh, there's another scripture to let you know is that they don't sleep until they do wickedness. Right? Let's see if I can find it. Well, I think it says they don't sleep until they do iniquity. Tell you, man, these devils, man. You'd be surprised the information you find out that what these devils be doing. Lock here, but just bear with me. Right, but you know, I can't find it at the moment. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it, but it says hey, as the scriptures say, you know, they don't, you know, they really don't sleep, you know, until they do evil, you know, until they have done iniquity. All right, and this is part of the counsel of the wicked. Let's go to the book of Psalms 83, verse 1. It says I start verse 2. It says, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people." Who's thy people? The Israelites. "And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more remembrance," man. And that's why they do all these different, tactics, to cover up who we actually are, right? And they put out all this false information to say, well, hey, y'all people come from the land of Ham, y'all Africans, right? Y'all not the Israelites, okay? Y'all black, and all these different things they have came up with, Why? So they can cut us off from being, so they can try to cut us off and let us know that we are the chosen people, that we are the Israelites, we are the biblical Israelites. Okay, so for they have consulted together with the one consent, they are all confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and of Hagarenes, and Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. So, the top people we want to speak about is who's on top and who's in power are the Edomites. But the other nations are joined with them also. Okay, to keep us down and us not knowing who we are. Okay, let's go back to that this article. It says promote alcohol abuse, restrictions on travel, the need for more jails, no more psychological or physical security, crime used to manage society, curtailment of the U.S. industrial, permanent shifting populations and economies, tearing out the social roots, sports as a tool of social engineering and change, sex and violence, and inculcated through entertainment and planted ID cards, microchips, the mark of the beast, food control, weather control, knowing how people respond, making them do what you want, falsified scientific research, use of terrorism, surveillance implants, and televisions that watch you, right? The smart TVs, the arrival of the toleration of global system, man. Come on, man. You see, this is the Illuminati summed up, man. This is all their wicked ideas and plans and thoughts, man. You see? So, let's see. So that's it for this lesson, Lord willing, I'll go